The number one question I always get as a straight haired natural is how do I avoid heat damage whilst wearing my hair straight 90% of the time? Honestly guys, the short answer is I don't. I don't have a uniform curl pattern anymore. I can't rock wash and goes anymore. I don't have my original hair texture in the way that it was in the past. And if you want to know a little bit more about why I chose to become a straight hair natural, I have a completely separate video that addresses that. Aside from the fact that I don't have my original curls and texture, my hair is the healthiest that it has ever been. I always like to show this picture of when I first started wearing my hair straight after I had to big chop after wearing back-to-back wash and goes for a good few years. It was ridden with split ends, single strand knots versus just over a year later of me wearing my hair as a straight haired natural. Choosing to be a straight haired natural has done the absolute wonders for the health of my hair overall. And my unpopular opinion is that just because your hair has a curl pattern doesn't mean that it's extremely healthy. There are different forms of damage that I had when I wore my hair curly, and now there's different forms of damage that my hair has now when I wear it straight. I honestly feel like, especially as a black woman, whatever hairstyle you choose to have, somebody's going to tell you that it's going to damage your hair in some way, shape or form. I'm hearing braids aren't healthy, I'm hearing weaves aren't healthy, I'm hearing wigs aren't healthy, I'm hearing straight isn't healthy, I'm hearing wash and goes aren't healthy, which is why I'm really a big fan of just do what you want with your hair. In today's video, I'm not going to tell you how to avoid traditional heat damage like maintaining your curl pattern while straightening your hair 90% of the time, because that's not me. But I am going to be telling you how you can avoid excessive heat damage whilst being a straight hair natural. This includes excessive split ends that can be caused by using a lot of heat on your hair, as well as your hair thinning out, which is common problems that people experience when they overuse heat in the wrong way. Hey guys, it's Nadine Brewer here. If you are new, welcome, where we talk all things hair with a little bit of life. So if you've not hit the subscribe button yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. So as I mentioned in my intro, in today's video I'm literally going to be talking to you guys about how to avoid excessive heat damage as a straight hair natural. A little bit of background for those of you that are new here. I've been a straight hair natural for coming up to 2 years now. I have been keratin treating my hair for about a year now. Oh, and I currently have a sew-in if you're confused by that. So without me rambling on too much guys, let's get into the video. So tip number one to avoid excessive heat damage as a straight hair natural is to don't straighten your hair weekly. Okay, I know in the past we've all been there when we were like frying our hair weekly. I used to put hair grease in my hair and then straighten it. This is way back when, guys. Way back when I was like 14 years old and I didn't know any better. I was literally frying my hair. This is not to say that you can't maintain straight, natural, healthy, natural hair while silk pressing weekly, because what you need to understand is that different people's hair takes to heat very, very differently. Some people will be able to straighten their hair every week and not experience the same level of damage as somebody who straightens their hair once a month. So it's better to err on the side of caution, especially if you're new to the straight natural hair journey. And if I was to give you a good time frame on choosing to straighten your hair, I would say once every 3 weeks. 3 weeks for me is the golden spot. Reason being is because one, you get to stretch out your hair a little bit longer, which means you're putting a lot less heat in your hair in the long run. If you do your hair once every 3 weeks, you're on average going to straighten your hair like 12, maybe 13 times a year, which is a lot more healthier than if you're straightening your hair once a week or even bi-weekly, which means that you go from straightening your hair like 12 to 15 times a year to straightening your hair like 50 times a year. The other thing with stretching your hair for that long that you want to err on the side of the caution of is your scalp. If your scalp gets itchy, flaky, dry quickly, just wash it. Definitely not worth compromising your scalp health in order to stretch your hair for longer. As you train your scalp and your hair to go longer without washing, your hair and your scalp naturally are going to regulate to that to an extent. So if you can't push it 3 weeks at the start, don't be alarmed. Keep trying to stretch your hair for as long as possible, and eventually you might be able to push it to the 3 week mark without your scalp and your hair getting irritated. Tip number two is lower the setting on your hair straightener. The more you straighten your hair and the more your hair gets what people call heat trained, and what they say by heat trained is they basically mean that your hair, I don't know what they mean by that. Basically, once your hair gets used to being straight, you should not need to max out your hair straightener in order to get your hair straight. Basically, like, you should be able to achieve the same results with a lot less heat, because that's just naturally how hair is. The more you style it in a certain way, the more it naturally wants to gravitate towards that style. The more you become a straight hair natural, the more you should be able to gradually lower the setting on your straightener in order to use a lot less heat overall on your hair. Tip number three, which is arguably the most important tip, and that is master your blowout. Like, guys, here's the thing. Blowout heat and straightener heat are two different types of heat. Yes, they're both obviously heat. Straighteners cause a lot more damage to your hair than a blow dryer does, because obviously hot ceramic plates clamping down on your hair from like both sides and cause damage to your cuticles, can cause damage to the internal bonds of your hair, which blow dryers can do, but not to the same extent as straighteners. So you want to make sure that your blow dryer does most of the work. Like, your hair should be straight pretty much after your blowout, and the straightener's job is not to straighten your hair, it's just to smooth it and remove any kind of like excess texture and volume that you would get from a blowout, to give you that sleek look. The type of blow dry brush that I would literally recommend for everybody is like a round heated blow dry brush like that. If you're doing an at-home silk press, that's gonna get you right every single time. The one that I have, I literally bought it for like £25. It's like Revolution Beauty. It's nothing spectacular, and it gives me like the smoothest, best blowout that I could ever achieve, rather than when I was doing it with my handheld blow dryer and my brush kind of like separately. Like, when I started using that brush, I thought, why have I not been doing this the entire time? For the most part, when it comes to my hair, I will literally only use a round brush to style the lengths of my hair, and then I'll only go in with a straightener on my roots as a way to kind of lessen the overall heat on the lengths of my hair. So yeah, whatever you do as a straight haired natural, master that blowout. Tip number 4 is to use silicones. Oh my gosh, guys, don't shy away from using silicones. Like, I feel like I always say this, but like, I need you to know how serious I am about not using silicones. I know people kind of like don't like silicones, or they hate silicones, and I understand why. Silicones form a coating or a layer on the surface of your hair, which a lot of people don't like, but what they don't know is that that coating and that layer of your hair is going to form a barrier between your hair and the heat, and is going to protect your strands from excessive heat damage. I'm just going to put it right here. Oils are not heat protectants. Okay, they're just not. I'm not going to try and get too sciencey in this video, because believe me, I could take it there. Yeah, we could start talking about the latent heat of evaporation and stuff like that, but we're not going to. Some oils can withstand higher temperatures, higher than obviously where straighteners are, but a lot of oils can't, and a lot of oils don't. They get hot very, very quickly, and they fry things. So if you are wanting to protect your hair, guys, just use the silicones. And the best way to avoid product buildup with silicones is by clarifying your hair often. And my last tip is to protective style until you have reached a length that you're okay with. My length retention journey has been absolutely rapid. I've been retaining length like crazy, and I've got a separate video that explains exactly why choosing to kind of stretch your hair or straighten your hair can appear as if your hair is growing faster. However, if you're somebody who's like me, and you guys are probably seeing this from like my vlogs, I style my hair often. I like to curl my hair, I like to straighten my hair, I style my hair often. I think it's very good to sometimes give your hair a break from the heat and put it away completely, which is exactly why I've decided to use sew-ins as my method of protective style. If you guys want me to do a more in-depth video on how exactly I actually plan to protect my hair perfectly under this weave so that I can actually retain length and not experience any breakage, then let me know, because that's probably something that I really want to like go into a bit more depth in. And I think honestly that goes for any hair routine you choose as a black girl. You're gonna have to protective style at some point, just to give your hair a break from whatever it is that you're doing to it. So just to summarize, there is a variety of different things that you can do within your hair routine to make sure that you don't end up with excessive heat damage. Let me know if you guys have any tips. Let me know if you guys have any tips that you swear by to avoid excessive heat damage as a straight hair natural. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.